Hi guys, it's Shamsa and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be sharing with you how I make my aloo tikkis. These are so easy to make and perfect with a cup of tea. You can make these well ahead of time, pop them into the freezer and then take them out as and when you need to. So let me run through what you need and then we'll start cooking. So the ingredients you're going to need is a kg of potatoes. I'm using red potatoes here, you can use whichever you wish. Now it doesn't matter if you're slightly under or over, as long as they're approximately a kg, you're absolutely fine with that. And I've got here 5 heaped tablespoons of rice flour. This acts as a binding agent and also it draws out most of the moisture from the potatoes, so when we fry the aloo tikkis they'll hold their shape better and not sort of like split or burst in the oil. I've got here 1 medium red onion which I finely diced, and I have 1 tablespoon of the following spices: salt, chili powder, coriander powder, garam masala. I've got half a tablespoon of dried chili flakes here. I've got 2 tablespoons of whole cumin seeds and the same of dried pomegranate seeds, which are anardana. This is optional, you don't have to add this in, but it does add a really nice crunch and an unexpected sort of like sourness to the aloo tikkis. I've also got 1 whole kettle of boiled water here to boil our potatoes in, and I've got a small bunch of fresh coriander, and I've got about 6 to 7 large fresh mint leaves which I'll be chopping up later on once I've washed them. And we also need oil to fry the tikkis in. So let's start cooking. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start by boiling our potatoes. So in a pot, just pop your potatoes in and just top it with the kettle of boiled water. Just make sure you cover them like that with the water. And we're going to allow them to boil away for about 10 to 15 minutes. I will check upon them and see when they're done from time to time, but once they're ready I'll show you how they look. Right, okay guys, I have been checking up on the potatoes and now I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to turn off my hob because the potatoes are done. So just grab yourself a knife and just pop it through, and if it goes in nicely and kind of like falls off, they're done. What we're going to do is we're going to drain the water and then I'm going to just let them cool off in a bowl and let them cool for about 10 to 15 minutes until they're more manageable so you can handle them. Then we're going to peel them and we'll move on to the next stage of the recipe. Okay, so the potatoes have cooled enough for me to be able to peel them, and I've just popped them into this bowl and they're still slightly warm. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a potato masher and just sort of like break them down slightly. I don't want to mash them completely, but just break them down a little. So just like that. That is perfect. Just make sure you take them off as well. And that's how they look at the moment. And to this, what we're going to do is we're going to add our ingredients in. We're going to start with the onions. So in that goes. Then we're going to throw in all the dry spices like that. And the cumin seeds and the dried pomegranate seeds straight in. Just break the pomegranate seeds up a little bit because they do kind of stick together. And then let's just give everything a good mix. And I'm just using some gloves because the mixture's still warm, as you can see steam coming off it. And I want to mix that really well, and also the gloves prevents it from sticking to your hands like that. Now, if you were to try this mixture, it will be slightly over salty right now, and I'm going to try a little bit of it just to tell you guys. Slightly over salty, but when we add the rice flour in, it will balance it out. So once that's mixed nicely, you can now add in the coriander and the fresh mint that I've washed and chopped. Like that. Make sure it's really nicely combined. Any bits that are slightly big, just break them down with your fingers. And now when it's nicely mixed like that, you just want to go straight in with the rice flour and make sure all of that's well combined, because this is what's going to help that tikki fry really nicely. Some bits there which I'm just breaking up, and that's how it looks. It's nice and dry. The rice flour has kind of like absorbed all of that moisture from the potatoes, and we're now ready to make the tikkis. Now to make the aloo tikkis, what we're going to do is we're going to take a decent amount, maybe the size of a golf ball mixture, and we're just going to press it to form a tikki. And make sure you kind of like press it and form it well, so there's no cracks or anything around the edges. And then just sort of like flatten it out. I mean, make them to your desired size. So there is my aloo tikki, and it just fits in the middle of my palm nicely, and that's the size that I like. So I'm going to make most of mine, and I'm going to show you how to fry them. So just continue making the tikkis. Right guys, all my aloo tikkis have been made. Now this mixture gave me 22 tikkis based on the size that I'm making them, which are these sized ones. If you decide to make slightly bigger ones, you're probably going to get less than that. I also have a little mini one there. There was a little bit of mixture left over and I made a little mini tikki there. Now if at this point you wanted to freeze these, you can do. Just pop them onto a flat baking sheet with parchment underneath, and when I say parchment, I mean greaseproof paper, and then pop these tikkis on. Freeze them in the freezer for about an hour or two. Just depends on your freezer settings as well. It might take slightly longer. Once they've kind of held their shape and slightly frozen over, pick them off, pop them into a Ziploc bag or a container, and then obviously just pop them into the freezer and take them out as and when you need to, defrost them, and then just continue to fry them just like I'll do from this point onwards. So let me take my camera over now and show you how to fry these. Right guys, I've got my oil in a wok here and it's nice and hot, and you want the temperature to be nice and hot on this. The hotter the better. The aloo tikkis won't take long to cook, so when we add them in, we're not going to touch them. We're just going to leave them and just let that hot oil sort of like do its magic, and then we'll flip them over and cook them. But they will literally take, you know, seconds to cook. So gently just pop them in. And you don't want to overcrowd them as well. So maybe 3 or 4 at a time. Put one more in, like that. And just leave that now for about 30 seconds or so. My heat setting is still on a high setting, and that's what you want, because if you lower the heat setting and the oil temperature drops, then they'll start to sort of like split and the potatoes will just sort of like fall apart to the tikki. Right, I'm just going to gently try and move them now. So you can see that they are literally done. And that's all you need to do. So just gently pick them out and just pop them onto some kitchen paper. Look at that beautiful colour. Really nice and easy to fry. And I'm just going to fry a few more. So there you have it guys, my aloo tikkis are all fried up. So let me plate these up and show you guys exactly how they are. Right guys, I have plated my aloo tikkia up with some chutney, which I will be sharing a video for very soon. It's my red onion chutney here, and I'm going to try one of these now and tell you guys exactly how it is, because my mouth has started to water. So here goes. Aloo tikki. First of all, I'm just going to try a little bit on its own. That pomegranate pop, wow, that is amazing. Spices are perfect, absolutely spot on. It's not even spicy. You can serve this up to your children and they'll be happily eating these. So I'm going to dip it into this chutney now. God, look at that. That chutney, slightly tangy, slightly sweet. Oh wow, that is honestly the perfect aloo tikki ever. Guys, if you found the video helpful, like always, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done already, and hit that bell notification to never ever miss videos like this ever again. I'm going to catch you next week with another one. Till then, take care and happy eating.